Hello, everybody, and welcome to Esquired. My name is Amber Morris, and I will be your host for this podcast, and for the ones after this as well. First and foremost, I want to welcome you. I'm very excited for the opportunity to share with you some legal concepts. I found through my time in law school that basic legal concepts are often cloaked behind some complex legalese. Legalese is maybe one of those complex concepts that I'm talking about. Legalese just means fancy attorney speak, if you will. And I found that these basic concepts that consumers and business owners and anyone else should know is often hidden behind these doors that are really hard to open or hard to understand, without somebody perhaps paying for an attorney just to ask a simple question. What is a life insurance contract, for example? I want to make clear that this is not a platform for legal advice. I'm not giving legal advice here. This does not establish an attorney-client privilege. You can read the disclaimer on the website at www.esquiredpodcast.com. And for each episode at the beginning, I will also include a daily disclaimer, aka the please don't sue me daily reminder that this is not legal advice and this is not an attorney-client relationship. However, I do want to create a platform for some basic knowledge, some educational tools for some concepts that I think that everybody should know. That being said, I plan on doing that in a host of series. For example, bankruptcy. So I'm gonna start with a broad general concept, for example, bankruptcy, and then go into specific episodes regarding that particular topic. If we're sticking on the bankruptcy subject, the episodes may be Chapter 7, bankruptcy, Chapter 11, bankruptcy, Chapter 13, DIP financing. If you don't know already, DIP financing simply stands for debtor in possession financing. We will talk about that more in that episode, should you choose to listen. But debtor in possession is just a debtor that keeps possession of their business when they're going through the Chapter 11 restructuring process. And DIP financing is the way that they obtain money to go through the restructuring process. I plan on having some other series as well. Insurance, for example, is a topic that everybody should be aware of. Whether you're a consumer, a business owner, whatever you may be, whoever's listening right now, insurance is so important in our lives. It's everywhere, so we should be aware of that. I plan on going over the different policies involved, what the policies are like, what the insurers do, what the defenses are, all of these different things that you should be aware of as consumers and business owners. I also plan on doing a COVID-19 series, talking about all of the implications of living in the age of coronavirus, a very hot topic right now, obviously, and there are some serious implications in the law with regard to that might interest you. There's also going to be an in-practice series. In practice meaning legal news. How does this all apply? What is going on? What does this all mean? And, how do we piece all of it together to see lawsuits and changes in the law, developments happening in real life? And last but not least, I'm going to have episodes on general concepts. I'm not going to have like a general concept series or anything, but I do plan on talking about some general concepts that don't necessarily fit within one or apply to many different areas. So, for example, I plan on talking about what are those Latin terms? What does pro se mean? What is a subpoena? What does ab initio or res judicata mean? All of these Latin terms that you can translate into English, and once they're translated, they're pretty simple concepts. So just explaining what some of the most common ones are. I will have other general episodes as well, talking about other general concepts. That one's pretty simple. But if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear from you. I want to make sure that this is about you guys, not about what I want to talk about, but what you guys want to hear. So if you have any suggestions for a different series, a general topic, something that you want to know about, let me know. You can email me at contact@esquiredpodcast.com, and I will do my best to get that on air. So the first quote unquote real episode I'm going to do is going to be an introduction to the insurance series. One, because I love insurance, which is a super weird thing to love. I know, please don't make fun of me. It's funny when people ask me, oh, what do you like? What do you specialize in? Everyone expects you to say, I'm a prosecutor, or I do this or that. And I'm like, yes, well, I do insurance. It is obviously a winner. It gets everyone very interested in you if you say you're interested in insurance. But anyway, yes, the first episode will be Introduction to Insurance. I hope you join us. And I'm going to kind of bounce around on the series too, because I don't want to do all of the insurance series and then, all of the bankruptcy series. I want to make sure that we are hitting a bunch of different topics at the beginning and kind of giving you different types of law up front. But if you are specifically interested in the insurance series, then I will make sure to, label all of the different series with, for example, insurance series, the insurance contract, or whatever the episode title may be. But you can track the series from the beginning of the title of the episodes. Until then, I invite you to visit the website at www.esquiredpodcast.com. I will have corresponding blogs there to each episode as well. The welcome blog is already up. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you next time. The information provided on this podcast does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. All information, content, and materials available on this podcast are for general informational purposes only. Information on this podcast may not constitute the most up-to-date legal or other information. Use of and access to this podcast or any of the links or resources contained within do not create an attorney-client relationship between the listeners and podcast contributors. This includes contributing law firms or guest podcasters. Listeners of this podcast should contact an attorney to obtain advice with respect to any particular legal matter. No listener of this podcast should act or refrain from acting on the basis of information on this podcast without first seeking legal advice from counsel in the relevant jurisdiction. This podcast contains references to third parties. Such references are only for the convenience of the listener. Esquired LLC and its members do not recommend or endorse the contents of the third parties.